for joining me. I am Lisa Winfield. I am your organizer, advisor / life coach. My goal is to help you enhance your life through organization, cleaning strategies and structures that will help you manage your home more effectively, health and beauty routines to help you enhance your health and the way you look and feel. One of the components of my organizational system is document organization, and I know not everybody enjoys filing papers. However, running a home and a family is much like running a business in a lot of ways. There's paperwork involved, so we need to come up with a system to manage that paperwork. Now, we need to custom design a system that works for you. For example, if you want to consider having a small filing box just to keep immediate paperwork and use a large filing cabinet for long-term storage of documents or documents you don't access as frequently. This little file box, which I kind of like, it's very decorative, so it sits next to the couch and it's sturdy. And it functions well as just keeping files that I'm going to access, such as current bills that need to be paid, or my car insurance that I need to look up periodically to check my coverage and my dates, and to get my little insurance card to put inside my car to keep my proof of insurance up to date. But this is just a really handy system. So you could use a file box like this, you can use a bin, you can use a basket, you can use a copy paper box, whatever works for you. Now let's talk about file folders. You can spend quite a bit of money on file folders. They can get very pricey. Usually they're more durable if they're more expensive. I like the durable ones. I go through my filing system about every 2 to 3 years and I update all of my folders. So I like to get durable ones that are going to last that long. Because I like to get really beautiful file folders, because if I'm going to file papers, I'm going to at least enjoy the experience. So don't be afraid if you want to invest a little bit of money in some beautiful file folders. You can get these at any kind of office, big box store, or you can order online. But I just like the beautiful colors, and it makes me happy. Another thing I would like to mention is sometimes we have really bulky information, such as banking. When you open an account, you get all these big booklets and things. You may want to take those and put them into these big plastic envelopes. You can put them in zip-top bags, but these are really pretty. You can get these at the dollar store. They were 2 for $1, so 50 cents each, and they're very durable. This kind of just keeps some of those heavier papers together that don't function in a file folder, because the weight tends to shift the file down underneath the rest of the file folders, and then it just kind of messes up your system. So I like the file folders, the big plastic envelopes, to keep heavy booklets in. However, the booklets that come with your electronics, anything that you buy in a box, any kind of tool, any electronic, any appliance, comes with big booklet segment. But go ahead and staple the receipt to that booklet and set it aside for right now, because we're going to file those in an accordion file. Booklets don't work well in file folders. Big heavy ones, bulky ones do not. So we have a different system for that. We'll talk about that in another segment. Now, back to the file folders. When you have your file folder, what you want to do is you want to write the company name, a company that this file folder represents, such as your insurance company, your utility company, the address in which you would send payment or contact them, a phone number so that you can call, whether that's be your 1-800 number. If you have an extension for a point of contact, put that with the phone number. You want a name of somebody that you are familiar with, or that manages your account, or somebody that you have spoken with before, so that you can have that point of contact. It's just more efficient and effective if you have that. Your account number, that's really important, because you need that if you speak to anybody. And also you may want to include your password if you want. I keep my passwords in a safe, but it's an option for you. It's what you're comfortable with. Now, when we are filing our papers, We're going to do what's called a paperwork safari, which means we are going to take a basket and we're going to go and gather all of those paperwork from the dining room table, the kitchen counters, all the drawers, the refrigerator, you know, all those places where we tend to stack things. We're just going to gather all the paperwork, all of it, because then we'll start to categorize it, and for each segment we'll have a different way of dealing with different types of papers. For example, important papers that maybe need to be housed in a safe or a safety deposit box. Also, it could be coupons, things that we need right away and that we use often or that are current or upcoming. We'll create a grab-and-go binder for those. We'll create a professional portfolio for your resume and any kind of certifications that you have. So go ahead and gather all that paperwork, and eventually we will get to it through this process of document organization. Now, when you gather your paperwork, when you have groups of paperwork, you want to staple them together at the top left corner. And then when you put it into the file, you want that staple down toward the crease. And why this is more effective, because that staple keeps the pages aligned in the crease so that they don't tend to slip and slide around. If you do it the other way, then those pages tend to shift, and it just makes it more difficult to put new file paperwork in that file. Also, when you take the file out of the file box, the header is at the top, so if you line up all your headers at the top, you can just start to flip through and find the document that you need. That way everything's facing the same direction and it stays nice and neat with that staple down in the crease, and all of those are lined up in the crease. It just keeps it neater, and it just makes it easier to put new paperwork in your files. Now, let's talk about filing categories. You want a file folder for each business that you do business with: insurance companies, vehicles, utilities, payments, credit cards. Well, you get the gist of it. You're going to want a stapler to staple your files, and you'll want some permanent markers or file labels that you do on the computer. You can design your labels and label your file folders, or you can just write with permanent marker. It depends on what your preference is. I also like to have some little post-it notes so that when I'm going through my documents and filing, if there's a particular part of that document that I need to keep in mind, I want to make sure I post-it note it or put a sticky on it in some way so that when I go back into the file, it's easy for me to find. I think that's about it for creating our filing system. When we conduct our paperwork safari and we have a basket of paperwork, we're going to want to begin to file those, and we'll start by categorizing them. However, don't feel overwhelmed. Set a goal of just filing 10 documents a day. 10 documents in 1 month is 300 documents, and that pretty much is going to cover everybody. Remember to keep your files that are current, that you need often, in a filing box or something that's easy for you to access. And then for long-term storage, filing cabinet or filing boxes, bins, that kind of keep that paperwork a little out of the way so it's not as overwhelming. This is very manageable. Now, the last thing I want to mention is, you know me, I like to enhance my experiences. I figure if I'm going to sit down and file paperwork, I'm going to have my water for my hydration, I'm going to light a candle, I'm going to have some soft music, but I also love a fresh scent. So I am going to use my room freshening spray, which is just essential oils mixed with water. In this case, it's cedarwood and orange. And I'm just going to spray into the file box. And what this does is it just makes the paperwork smell great. So when you open that file, you get this beautiful scent. It's just relaxing. It's enjoyable. It makes a stressful job a little less stressful. And that's the goal of my entire program. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you are safe and well, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you the next time we meet.